Do you believe in miracles? I didn't really believe in them until something happened to me earlier this week. I lost something precious, and for a few moments, I completely lost myself along with it. As I paint this beautiful scarlet ibis, I want to share what happened and the reflection it gave me, and I hope it will help you whenever you find yourself facing an uncertain situation. You can see the complete list of pigments on the screen as we move forward. And when we are going through the painting, I'll briefly explain how I build the colors and layers. Before I continue with what happened, let's start the first layer. I'm using light washes of permanent orange and scarlet lake with touches of quinacridone scarlet. At this stage, I'm not trying to define every feather. I'm simply observing the reference and placing the first areas of color. The details will gradually emerge as the layers develop. Now, coming back to what happened, earlier this week I traveled quite far from where I was staying to purchase several things. I visited around 4 to 5 different shops, and at an imitation jewelry shop, I removed one of my gold earrings so that I could try on another earring. I placed my gold stud inside my trouser pocket, thinking it would be safe there. After making my purchase, I continued shopping and completely forgot about it. I frequently used that pocket for my phone, car key, and sometimes cash. And throughout the evening, I repeatedly took these things out and put them back. Around late evening, I finished my shopping and waited for my car at the valet parking area. While waiting, I began speaking to one of the people working there, and during our conversation, he looked at me and said, "Ma'am, you don't have an earring in one ear." At first, I wasn't worried. I immediately reached out into my pocket, expecting the gold stud to be there. But it was gone. I checked the pocket again. Nothing. I had visited several shops, walked along different streets, and used that pocket many times. The earring could have fallen anywhere. For the next few minutes, I completely panicked. It was a gold stud, but more importantly, it was a gift. I began blaming myself. How could I be so careless? Why didn't I keep it safely inside my purse? I was already late. I was far from home. It was raining heavily, and my puppies were waiting for me to return and feed them. My mind was trying to carry everything at once. I didn't know where to search or whom to ask. It was an utter panic situation. But I didn't realize that these kind of life situations is where miracles happen. All we need to find is a pause and a stillness point to step back and think about what we should do next. Let's return to the painting. This is where the layer 1 is complete, and we are giving a considerable amount of time for layer 1 to dry. And then layer 2 follows the same steps as layer 1, just increasing the value of whatever pigments we had used on layer 1 in layer 2. And now the reference picture is critical to have all the time by your side, so that every time you refer and see where the values are high, low, where the light falls, and slowly build the layers. And here I want to mention that if you have a good cotton paper, it's going to give us a lot of flexibility and a lot of layers to build and increase our values. Coming back to my story, after around 10 minutes of utter panic, I paused. I realized that I could not return to every shop or search every street. Continuing to panic would not me help find the earring. So instead of trying to solve everything, I chose one clear next step. I decided to return to the imitation jewelry shop, the place where I had first removed the stud. I had no proof that it would be still there, and still I allowed myself to remain open to that possibility. And it was raining so heavily, and as I drove back, I repeated one sentence: I am open to receiving all good. The rain was heavy and the earring was very small. My mind kept imagining that it had fallen into the water or disappeared somewhere on the street. Whenever those frightening thoughts returned, I came back to the same sentence: I am open to receiving all good. Let's come back to the painting. I want to highlight something here that when I was doing the second layer, I had also used some colors to deepen the shadows. A little bit of alizarin crimson and neutral tint to the shadow areas. I am carefully observing the lighter and the darker areas of each feather. Beneath some of the feathers, you'll notice small shadows. I'm gradually deepening those areas to give the bird more shape and dimension. Before moving to layer 3, here we have a closer look of layer 1 and 2. You will notice how the colors and the pigments have increased in layer 2, and because in this layer we have gradually deepened the shadows, brought more definition to the feathers. I have also interchangeably used Scarlet Lake and Quinacridone Scarlet. I usually build my paintings gradually, sometimes using up to 6 layers. With each layer, I deepen the colors and create more dimension in the feathers. And watching the bird slowly come to life through these subtle changes gives me a wonderful sense of satisfaction. So, coming back to my story, I drove back to the jewelry shop. I parked my car and walked towards the shop. And as I approached the entrance, something sparkling near the corner of the doorway caught my attention. It was my gold stud. Despite the rain, the traffic, and all the people who had passed through that entrance, it was still there. For me, that moment felt like a miracle. But when I look back, I also feel deeply grateful to the person I was talking at the valet parking area. If he hadn't noticed my missing earring and told me, I might have driven home and discovered the loss much later. A small conversation with another person helped me at the exact right time. This experience taught me that peace does not mean we will never panic. I panicked, I blamed myself, I imagined the worst. Peace began when I paused and stopped allowing fear to choose my next step. I could not control the rain. I could not know where the earring had fallen, and repeating an affirmation could not guarantee that I would find it. But the affirmation helped me create a little space between my fear and my next decision. It helped me calm down, choose one place to search, and remain open to a good outcome. We don't have to ignore the reality or pretend that everything is fine, but we can pause and remind ourselves that there may be something good here that I cannot see yet. Because sometimes what we are searching for may already be waiting for us quietly sparkling at our doorway. Thank you so much for painting and reflecting with me today. If my story has resonated with you, Please leave a comment below, and if you have experienced a similar moment, I would love to hear your story too. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time.